Can you guys hear me? Can someone just quickly send me a text that if I am audible to everyone? Oh, okay, great, great. All right. Okay, so here we go. Yes, today's topic is PCOD. And in fact, the reason I asked everyone to fill up the type form is also to understand what is your medical condition. And I think out of all the people, I could see more than 90% of you are suffering from PCOD and related symptoms. Okay. And let me also tell you, PCOD is such a condition that 1 in every 5 women do suffer from PCOD or any form of hormonal imbalance. And this condition is increasing every year as it is, passing by. And there are many, many reasons why it is happening. And I'm going to discuss most of it in today's session. Yeah. So before I end the session, for people who do not know me, who just follow me on Instagram, I am very new in terms of putting content on Instagram. I wasn't that active probably a year back, but I have been in this industry from 2011. And this is a small bit about me. I used to work with Times of India. In 2009, I quit my job. And 2011 is when I started my journey as a fitness instructor. Till 2014, I used to conduct a lot of workout classes. I used to freelance as a personal trainer. And I think towards the end of 2014, I started getting this idea of starting online, coaching. Just 1 second. Yeah, okay. Online coaching. And in 2015, I worked for a startup for 1 year to basically gather knowledge and to find out that how exactly this online industry works and whether I will be able to help people coaching them online. And trust me, it really worked out great for me. 2016, I started my own brand. And 2018, I rebranded this company as World of Wow Fitness. And now I am an exclusive women weight management coach. And I do train men as well, but I don't talk so much. However, 90% of my clientele are women. And I help women who suffer from stress-induced obesity, to hormonal imbalance, to infertility, to pre-pregnancy weight gain, to post-pregnancy weight gain. Anything where a female is suffering from weight gain issue is where I come in. And women or female weight loss is not as it is for men to lose weight. It is not calorie in and calorie out. For a female to lose weight or to get in shape, there are a lot of factors which plays a very important role. And everything put together is when we actually see any result. Yeah. And as we keep aging, every year goes by, the way our body responds to a particular food or particular exercise, or for that matter, even lifestyle, it changes. Okay. So female weight loss is a lot of action-based program, a lot of, a lot of things has to be put to actually lose weight. So what are we talking? We'll understand what is PCOS or PCOD, what are its symptoms and effects, of course, and how do we manage the condition. So these are the main topics that I am going to cover today. So I'll not waste much time. We'll just straight away get to the topic that what is PCOS or what is PCOD. Polycystic ovary syndrome or polycystic ovary disorder or disease, sometimes it's called. Both are So when it is a symptom, it basically means it is still not been diagnosed that you have cysts in your ovary. And when it is a disorder, that means there is already the cysts are already there in your ovary. Now, as you can see in this picture, what actually happens in a polycystic ovary is, all over your ovaries, there are small, tiny cysts. Okay, the cysts contain small fluid-like material, and it basically covers the entire wall of the ovary. And when this happens, we all know there are tons of things that we go through. All right. Now, first, let's understand that why does polycystic ovary or PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome or disorder happen. All right. Now, in a normal situation for a female, we have our pituitary gland. Now, the function of the pituitary gland is, so pituitary gland is basically signaling a hormone in our body called LH. LH is our luteinizing hormone. All right. Now, the work of luteinizing hormone is to elevate or to surge the process of releasing eggs once every month. Now, when that egg is released, it goes and it sits in the fallopian tube. All right. Now, if it comes in contact with a sperm, then a fetus develops, and then it goes into a pregnancy state. Now, if it doesn't come in contact with a sperm, then what happens? This egg is excreted along with the line of your uterus, and that's when you get your period, right? Now, this is the normal scenario. This is how a female reproductive system works. Now, let's understand what happens when you have PCOS or PCOD. In both the conditions, okay, the PCOD is extreme, PCOS is just the symptoms. So in both the conditions, what happens is the surge of luteinizing hormone, or the signal. So say, for example, pituitary gland has to give a signal to LH and say, hey, LH, it's time for, the egg to release. So luteinizing hormone, it gets the signal. However, it is not able to, increase the surge so that the release of egg happens. Now, why does it happen? It's because the way the luteinizing hormone works is in association with your glucose in the body. All right. Now, most of the time, like 99% of the time, when you have these PCOD or PCOS, your body becomes insulin resistant. That means there is a lot of glucose in the body. So the LH doesn't get the right time or the signal to actually ask the egg to release. Now, when that doesn't happen, automatically your body, it doesn't know when to release the egg. Now, when that doesn't happen, so if your egg is not getting released, then it doesn't know when it is supposed to, come out of your body, or when the shedding of lining has to happen, and hence you do not get your periods on time. Now, when you do not get your periods on time, or you may get frequent periods, or you may get very scanty or very heavy periods. So the normal flow of the reproductive system completely gets into a mess. Okay, so this is actually the scientific reason, or why exactly it happens. So always you will see that people who suffer from these conditions, they have very high insulin resistance. Now, what is insulin resistance? For that, we need to understand what is the function of insulin. Now, insulin is basically a carrier of glucose to our cells. So when you eat carbohydrate or any form of sugar or fruits which has sugar, it goes inside the body and it breaks down, right? When it breaks down, that sugar, when it breaks down into energy, right? So that energy is transported to your cells, and then it is asked that, hey, I have shifted the energy to you, and now it is your work to give back energy to the body to do all the bodily functions. Now, what happens is and this balance of how much of sugar is to be transported is basically managed by insulin. Now, what happens when there is a surge of glucose in the body? Insulin, the carrier, which says that I already have so much, I really don't need any more to give it back to the body. So then there is an imbalance that happens. So insulin then resists. It says, I don't need any more sugar. Okay. However, body is constantly getting sugar because we are constantly eating unknowingly and increasing the surge of glucose in the body, and which eventually is turning for our body, which eventually is turning for our body to become more insulin resistant. Yeah. So that exactly happens when a body has PCOD, and along with that, when you develop insulin resistance, and 99% of the time, both the conditions come together. Okay, so it's very common that you will have insulin resistance when you have PCOS or PCOD, and you can be of any age. Okay, usually in today's date, like for example, right now I'm treating and I have been treating a lot of teenage girls starting from the age of 13 or probably the time when they hit their puberty. Within 2 years, these people are coming and saying that she has been diagnosed with PCOD or symptoms of PCOD, and the body has started showing, all the symptoms which usually happens with the condition, right? So this is a small, brief scientific explanation of what exactly happens when our body is diagnosed with this condition. Okay. Now we come back to what happens. Now we know what is PCOS. We know, what exactly happens internally in the body, right? Now, what is happening internally in the body? Knowledge is great. However, we will not be able to dictate that luteinizing hormone until that, hey, it's time for you to release the egg, or we cannot dictate our pituitary gland, or we cannot tell our body to work or act as it should be, right? So now we have to understand that what are the symptoms that we are experiencing based on which a diagnosis is done. And when the diagnosis is done, that's exactly when you put actions in place to fix the condition, right? So the first symptom when you have PCOS is you will accumulate a lot of fat in the body. You will accumulate a lot of abdominal weight in the body, okay? Now, this is the first trigger which usually happens with women. If you are seeing that you are putting on a lot of fat weight in your abdomen, that's a trigger that your body is getting into insulin resistant state. Now you will notice this, that people who suffer from diabetes, men, women, they usually develop a very big abdomen, full of fat. Even if the person is very lean, but they will still have very big tummy. Or people who, especially women, you will see they probably look very lean from behind, but in front, their stomach is so big that sometimes people actually get confused whether they are pregnant or they have fat in their stomach. So the first symptom which usually people notice for PCOD is abdominal obesity, okay? Second symptom, which is again a very common symptom, is increase of facial hair, okay? Or hair around your navel area, or hair around the back of your body. Why that happens? Because, how does we get periods, right? We get periods is because it's a work of our progesterone and estrogen, right? The estrogen goes high, we get our periods. Again, after the periods, it drops. And again, it's a cycle, right? Now, there is something called androgen. Androgen is male hormone. What happens in women, instead of estrogen going high, androgen goes high. We do have that. We do have male hormone, but very little in our body. But what happens is this androgen goes very high in the body, estrogen drops. All right. The moment androgen goes high in the body, you get male hormones in the body. When you have male hormones in the body, you will develop facial hair. You will develop male pattern balding. One second. You will develop male pattern balding. Okay, your voice will change. So a lot of women, when the condition is ignored or when the condition is not treated in the right way, eventually get into this extreme. Now, high levels of androgen comes when that's basically a second stage. The first stage is when you will notice that you are constantly putting on a lot of abdomen weight, okay? And if that is ignored, the next stage is when you will see you have developed facial hair, you will have mustaches, you will have body hair around your navel area, or male pattern balding, okay? And your voice will also change. Now, there are certain other symptoms also, which is again very, very common. Now, the picture that you see, and I have used this in the previous presentation as well, it's basically a symptom where, around the neck, a lot of people with PCOD, since they also suffer from insulin resistance, they do develop this round circle around their neck. So this is also a symptom. Okay, so you need to notice these symptoms of you see people who are, for people who you have seen certain things, check with them, check with them about their health, check with them about their periods, whether it is regular or irregular, or, it can be that it is just the beginning and it can be, treated at the right time. Other main issue which happens because of PCOD is infertility. Now, this is something which is really, really a big issue because, it is like a vicious cycle. You try to control the hormonal regulation, you basically control how our hormones should work. And it actually doesn't work the way you want it to be. So it's basically a lot of effort. So that's when I said at the beginning of the program that, when symptoms go out of hand, we need doctors' help as well to basically help us, support the system to work the way it should be working. All right. So infertility because of PCOD is a very common issue. All right. And I have seen cases where people have become successful and they have, conceived naturally. And then, of course, there are situations where people do go through IVF or other ways. People do try alternative therapies as well to conceive, right? This is something, if you know of any teenage girl or any unmarried girl or anybody who suffers, this is something which everyone should be very aware of. And this is something which has to be tackled at the first instance when you get to know about it. As I said, you do get male pattern balding because of high androgen levels. Your body becomes insulin resistant. So you have very high chances, or you are susceptible to diabetes in your later years. So once you cross 35, you may develop diabetes if your PCOD has not been addressed. You will suffer from immense amount of stress. Now, PCOD itself causes a lot of internal stress in the body, which we don't see. Now, because it causes a lot of internal stress in the body, our body's entire function, the way our liver should work, the way our happy hormones should work, the way our digestion should work, it doesn't happen, okay? Everything is messed up inside our body. And now when that is messed up, we automatically do not feel very good about it. We are most of the time tired. We don't sleep well. When we don't sleep well, we carry that. And all of us are living in a world where we have so much and so many things to do, right? So stress is inevitable, but when you have any hormonal imbalance in the body, stress just increases 4x. Okay, so this is again a very big symptom. Abdominal weight gain, as I said, and irregular periods, which is very, very, very common. You will see in majority of the cases, girls do not get their periods. They don't get their periods for 6 months, 7 months, and then suddenly they will get their periods. And again, it will not be happening for 7 months, 6 months. Or sometimes it is too frequent. They get their periods every 10 days or 15 days, right? So there is an absolute, unsurety that when are you going to get your periods, or when are things going to get at a normal pace. So we move on to the next slide, which is how to fix it. All right. So now what we discussed is, we discussed what is it, what exactly happens in the body. Then we discussed the symptoms. What are the symptoms that we should be aware of? What are the symptoms probably we are already facing? And maybe we are not facing, and maybe we are seeing a bit, a small part of it. So that was the intention, to basically educate you that what are the symptoms, and or if you see someone else suffering, how to tackle it. And now comes how to fix this. Now, for any condition in the health, whether it is, taking care of diabetes to any kind of lifestyle disorder, I'm not saying if you break your leg, you need to fix it with diet, but anything which is related to lifestyle disorder has to be fixed by two things: exercise and food. All right. So these two are very, very, very important things in terms of understanding the nutrition part. How much of food, how much of protein, how much of carbohydrates, how much of good fat, what time should you be eating, how much of water you should drink, how much of is fruits okay, not okay, if this vegetable is okay, not okay. All these things actually helps any individual come out of any damn condition related to lifestyle. Okay. Now, of course, there is a certain way that you need to eat when you are suffering from PCOD. Now, as I said, that when you have PCOD, you also have insulin resistance. It's basically parallel. PCOD and insulin resistance is something which goes hand in hand, right? But insulin resistance is a state where you are not diabetic. When you do a blood test, you will not even know whether you are, the blood reports will say you are normal. Sometimes it also shows for people as pre-diabetic state. Sometimes for some people it shows, their cortisol level goes high, like the stress hormone is high. But overall, the way the insulin or the way the body actually works, and it shows a clear indication that your body is not attracting with food which is very high in sugar. So the first rule of PCOD to eat is lessen your glucose intake, lessen anything which is sweet, lessen anything which is increasing or spiking the glucose levels in your body, because you already have a lot of glucose, you already have a lot of stored energy in the body that has not been utilized. Okay. Now, before I say fix, one thing which I forgot to mention is why exactly are people, suffering from PCOD? Now, this is, as I said, is an absolute lifestyle disorder. But the major issue why people are suffering today because of PCOD is inactivity, constant sitting at one place, okay, for several years, and or several, like teenage girls. They just don't feel like doing any form of workout. They just don't feel like doing any form of sports. They are constantly sitting. Okay? Now, thanks to COVID, now work has now people are not going out at all, especially small girls, students. They are all always in front of their laptop or computer, and they are constantly sitting. So basically, and also out of fear, we don't send them outside, or we don't go outside. And we try to manage things within our house, and which again leads to more sitting disorder. Okay, and the more amount of sitting disorder you have, higher chances that you will develop lifestyle or metabolic syndrome. Out of it, metabolic syndrome is also the same thing, wherein you develop issues like diabetes or cardiovascular problems or these kind of lifestyle issues. Okay, so the root cause for this is lifestyle. The root cause for this is constant sitting and being inactive. That is the root cause. Now, once you have been diagnosed, then when you start exercising, it will take time. It will. The body has already given you a lot of symptoms and a lot of signals that, hey, you need to move me. You need to utilize the food that you've been eating. Okay. So the first thing that you have to understand when it comes to food is lessen your glucose intake, lessen the carbohydrate, or see the carbohydrate that you are eating. What time of the day and how much of carbohydrate are you consuming plays a very important role. Okay, what are you going to do after eating that carbohydrate? If you are planning to go back and sit and again work or study, then you're not doing any good to yourself, because you already have so much of glucose in the body. On top of that, you've loaded yourself with another round of glucose. Your body is anyway saying, insulin carrier is saying that, hey, I don't need any more glucose. But you just did not listen to it and you continued, right? So the first thing that you need to take care if you're suffering from PCOD is cut down on sugar, any form of sugar. Now, when I say sugar, it doesn't mean the table sugar that you eat, the white sugar. It means anything which breaks down in the body as glucose, as sugar, any glucose that you eat, any carbohydrate, basically. So starting with anything. Now, glucose, it comes as an index. Okay, so there is a glucose index of every carb that you eat. The glucose index, in short, it's called GI. All right. So glycemic index, my mistake. GI means glycemic index. So for every carbohydrate, there is a glycemic index. The higher the glycemic index, the higher sugar you will get in the body. The lower the glycemic index, less sugar you will get. Now, you have to choose food which is low in glycemic index. Now, another reason why you need to choose low glycemic index is because the release of sugar in the body is slow. The moment if you eat food which spikes your insulin, your body's it's a very disturbed state. It's very imbalanced. So basically, you have loaded the insulin carrier with so much of sugar, and then suddenly you're putting a bag full of sugar again on top of it and asking that now you do whatever you want. But then obviously the revolt will say, I can't do anything. You go wherever you want to, and I can't handle it. So you have to eat food and give some space to your insulin, or give some respite to your insulin, and say that, okay, I know we need energy. So I'm going to give little bit of sugar in the body, and the food which is going to slowly release, glucose in the body. So that is how a food which is low in GI works. Next is eat more vegetables, protein, and healthy fat. Why vegetables? So before vegetables, it is for people, if you're suffering from PCOD, increase your protein intake, whatever protein, vegetarian protein, non-vegetarian protein. When you're eating more protein, you have to eat fiber along with protein. Otherwise, your protein is not going to get absorbed. Now, when you are having fiber along with that, you also need to add healthy fat, because otherwise the absorption of certain vitamins in the body doesn't happen, right? So it's a combination of protein, vegetables, and healthy fat, which you need to. That is your main food. So every meal that you eat has to be a combination of vegetables, protein, and healthy fat. Now, what type of vegetables that you're supposed to eat? Vegetable which is non-starchy. That means vegetable which is found above the ground. Vegetable which is found below the ground are the ones which is starchy. You should not be eating starchy vegetables. Anything which is green or dark pigmented are your go-to food. Okay? Protein. People who are vegetarian, you don't have a choice of getting only protein from a vegetarian source. So you have to do a combination of 2 or 3 things to replenish the entire requirement of your aminos. Okay, why do we eat protein? It breaks down into aminos, right? When it breaks down into aminos, that's when our body absorbs it and builds new muscle fiber. All right. Why do we need muscle fiber? Because when you have more muscle fiber in your body, your metabolic rate goes high. When your metabolic rate goes high, you burn more fat. Your body uses more energy. And hence the cycle of stored fat, the stored energy in the body, starts getting utilized. So you reduce your glucose, let your body use the stored energy, put fiber in your body, put protein in your body, put healthy fat in your body, and let your body utilize this along with the stored energy or stored energy is basically the fat, okay, and then work and regulate the system. Don't eat too much at one go. Now, whatever you are eating, don't load yourself with too much of food. Whatever food that you eat, all right, even if it is, we cannot just eat protein, right? So even if you're eating vegetable, it also has carbohydrates, right? But of course, very less. Whatever you eat, don't load yourself with too much of food at one go. So always, the rule is to fill your stomach 3/4 and leave the rest. And let your body, digest that food completely. Sometimes I even ask my clients to not eat full stomach, just eat half stomach. So if your portion size is 2 chapati, I tell them eat 1 roti. Okay, you will not die if you eat 1 roti, and your hunger will be taken care of. What will happen is you will feel hungry frequently, which is great, and that's exactly what is needed, right? So don't load yourself with a lot of food. Eat either, so it is, see, again, now every body is different. Sometimes some bodies, they don't need so much of food, and the body gives a signal. Especially this happens with women who are closer to 40 or 35 to 40, in between that age group. When if you are a new mother or if you are a young girl, you will feel hungry frequently. So don't just eat because you're hungry. Don't just eat a lot of food and then you're like, oh my God, I'm so stuffed and I can't move right now. So don't do that. Eat only that much that will curb your hunger. Don't eat more than that. Okay? Don't sit for too long. I think I've discussed this right now, and you know it, why you don't have to sit for too long. And mandatorily, you need to exercise daily for 60 minutes. So you need to keep moving your body. It's not only about doing 60 minutes of workout and rest 23 hours. You do whatever you want, okay? That is not possible. You definitely will have to, 1 second. Sorry, I was just hearing someone's noise. That's why So the rest 23 hours, if you're not doing anything, it's not serving any purpose. So it's very important to keep your body active. It's very important to keep moving. Our bodies have been made by God to move. All right. We are not made to sit at one place. We are made to move our limbs. We are made to use our muscles. We are made to regulate our hormones by doing certain activities, right? And that's when it is not happening, when our body is not following as per nature. That's exactly when our body starts revolting and we do get all the symptoms that we see these days. So I just discussed about the main thing, that what exactly to eat. So as I said right now, here that how to fix it. So eating more fiber and eating less of glucose, increasing your protein intake, increasing your vegetable, your fiber is very, very important. Now, what I also want to share here is, as I said, you have to make sure that the glucose intake or sugar intake in the body has to be bare minimum, or for that matter, nil. So when that comes to nil, you will not be eating fruits. Fruit is sugar. Fruit is fructose. So you will see people who suffer from PCOD, they are always asked not to eat fruits or anything which spikes the insulin in the body. The only safe fruit for them is berries and citrus fruits like grapefruit or sweet lime or oranges. But that's also not. If the orange is too sweet, no. If the sweet lime is too sweet, then no. Maybe just half of it is still fine. Grapefruit is a fantastic fruit and a great food which helps in weight loss, right? Now, the other alternative for grapefruit, if you don't get grapefruit in India, is pomelo. All right, so we do get pomelo. There are a variety of pomelo that we get. That's again a great superfood which helps not only in weight loss, but it also helps for people who have insulin resistance. Okay. So this is just a list of few top food which you need to include. If you guys want, you can take a picture of this. But if you have PCOD or PCOS, what are the top food that has to be there in your pantry? Okay. Animal protein, which is chicken, fish, eggs. Whey protein, if you don't eat chicken, if you do not eat non-vegetarian. And if you are a vegan, then you have to buy plant protein. All right. Dark green vegetables, dark pigmented vegetables is your go-to food. Spinach, amaranthus, broccoli, beetroot. But beetroot is also, it's a root vegetable, I know, but beetroot is still very high in antioxidants. Now, one thing which I forgot to mention here is women, all right? When we are suffering from hormonal imbalance, we also suffer from skin disorder. We also suffer from hair loss. We also suffer from very bad gut health, all right? So we need to, there is a lot of, toxins which develops in the body because of the condition, because of the eating habits that we have, which has led us to that condition. Now, one thing which we have to pay a lot more attention is to increase the antioxidant level, right? So that is the reason why it is so important to eat food which is dark pigmented. So purple cabbage or beetroot or dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is again something which is not sweet and you can eat that. So anything which increases the antioxidant in the body is also going to support you. So that is the reason it's very important to choose vegetable which is dark green in color or dark pigmented. Okay, so that's your go-to food. Any gourd variety of vegetable is extremely good when you're suffering from PCOD. So ridge gourd, bottle gourd, snake gourd, anything which is in the gourd variety is again good. So vegetables, okay? Just eat vegetables, protein, and some healthy fats, and you see your body responding. Keep your carbohydrate intake, bare minimum, probably just till breakfast, or maybe you eat in other meals, but very, very, very limited quantity, right? Good fat is MCT or coconut oil or olive oil or avocado oil as well, all right? MCT is medium chain triglycerides. Now this helps in fat loss. So in the morning, you can have probably, before your workout, you can have, a little bit of whey protein with 1 spoon of MCT or coconut oil, mix it with water, do a shake and then drink it. Or you can just have a MCT or coconut oil just like that, 1 spoon, and it really, really helps, okay? As I said, fruits, berries, and citrus fruits. Cacao nibs, it's basically a very high potent antioxidant substance. It's basically the cocoa. It's I think the seed of the cocoa plant from where we derive chocolate. So cocoa nibs, cacao nibs are extremely good for people who suffer from any form of hormonal imbalance, any form of insulin resistance, or any form of inflammation in the body. So cacao nibs is again a great superfood. Apple cider vinegar, whole or pseudo grains. Okay, so pseudo grains are grains which looks like rice but they are not rice. Okay, or looks like grain and they are not grains. And what are these pseudo grains? Quinoa is a pseudo grain, buckwheat is a pseudo grain. Okay, whole grains, oats, rice, or millet. Stay away from any form of gluten, okay, as much as you can. So stay away from food which is made of wheat. A complete no-no to wheat, a complete no-no to dairy as well. Okay, so you will see that I have not mentioned any dairy here. So because dairy causes a lot of inflammation in the body, and when you have PCOD, you automatically are putting in a lot of water weight. Every gram of carbohydrate that you consume, our body retains 5 ml to 8 ml of water in the body. And when you consume dairy, it increases, right? It increases not for everybody, for people who suffer from inflammation or people who suffer from hormonal imbalance. So it will increase only for them. Eggs, tofu, tempeh, whatever is available, and it's absolutely safe. You know, people do ask me this question that if I eat tofu, is it safe? Because soya is considered that it's going to increase the estrogen. Well, that's what you want, right? Your estrogen is not actually functioning properly, and that is the reason you are having so much of imbalance. So it is absolutely safe. When it is not safe, it's probably if you have been diagnosed with high estrogen levels, then probably it is not recommended. But if you eat the right portion size, it's just fine. Yeah. Tea, oolong, matcha, green tea, go for it. Stay away from coffee as much as you can. Caffeine, again, aggravates your condition. And Greek yogurt. So very high in protein. So go for unsweetened Greek yogurt. So these are the top 10 food which should always be there in your pantry or in your refrigerator. Now we spoke about food, that what are the kind of food or which are the food group that has to be our topmost priority. Now, as I said, a mandatory 60 minutes of workout is very important. Now, what type of workout is also very important when it comes to PCOD. Now, a lot of people, they feel that, I need to lose weight, and so let me just go to the gym and kill myself for 2 hours. Okay, never do that. You will always have to do workouts so that your body is not undergoing tremendous amount of stress. Okay. Now, when I say tremendous amount of stress, what does this mean? So it means like you should not be doing a workout which breaks down or which causes a lot of wear and tear to your muscles, that your muscles are not able to recover to do any form of workout for the next 48 or 72 hours. Okay. And when that happens, your body is undergoing so much of stress to repair the system that it has a flip effect on our body, and it further aggravates the condition, aggravates the hormonal imbalance in the body. So you have to choose a workout which is short, intense, but it gets over quickly, or you have to do workout which is not very intense, however, a elongated workout, maybe a steady state cardio for 60 or 1 or 90 minutes cardio, which can be brisk walking, or it can be very light jogging, or it can be swimming, all right? Or doing HIIT, 40 minutes of workout and then you are done. Or it can be a power yoga session, which is basically a combination of yoga. There is a, when you do yoga, there is a pre, there's a way when you start yoga, right? So basically they center your body and then you start the yoga. And then again, yoga calms you down at the end of the program after when the session gets over. So power yoga is great. Vinyasa yoga is great. Okay. So the top exercises that I would recommend when it comes to controlling your PCOD is HIIT, 20 to 40 minutes of workout session, power yoga or vinyasa yoga, or steady state long cardio, which can be walking, slow jogging, swimming, rowing, anything. Or it can be, and yes, of course, strength training. Okay, very, very, very important again. Now, again, strength training, don't kill yourself in the gym by lifting extremely heavy weight. So it should always be less weight, more repetition. So that is how you should be working out if you suffer from hormonal imbalance. If you kill yourself in the gym, now this is something which I have personally experienced in the past, is a lot of men trainers, they just don't understand the female body. All right. They just don't understand that what exactly is happening. For them, their goal is to help you lose weight, but they are judging your body based on their assumption that, if you eat less food and if you exercise more, your body will, you will lose weight. Trust me, that does not happen and will not happen. All right. So you need to make sure that you go to someone who already understands the condition or who has trained somebody in the past. Never ever let your trainer coach you or train you and make you do maddening workouts where you are asked to push maybe 100 kgs of weight, or you're asked to squat with a lot of weighted plates, or maybe you are made to do a lot of workout and you're just not able to do, but you're just pushing yourself in the gym. Don't do that. All right. Any form of stress is not going to help you. So the rule always, along with food, along with exercise, is to do practices, which is basically going to calm you down. All right. Now, I have not mentioned here about the other alternative practices, which is going to help you in calming, yourself down completely. But this is something which you have to eventually incorporate and start practicing. Is anything which centers you, anything which gives you a few moments in your entire 24 hours when you are connecting to yourself and you basically settling things down. Because when we are it's usually our mind is very cluttered, right? Throughout the day, it's so many things to do: house, kids, food, dinner, lunch, kids school, kids homework, our work, just tons of things, right? Whether we are married, not married, so many things that we handle, right? So our brain doesn't really function just in one direction. We are scattered everywhere. So there is a lot of chatter also that happens. If I need to do this, I need to do that. So please find out one such time within your 24 hours to basically, secure your thoughts, to basically put together everything, and to realize that I do, just to realize and make yourself in sync with your reality. And the moment you do that, you will see that the problem is of uncertainty. You yourself don't know how much work you have. You yourself don't know, there is no clarity in front of you. And that's exactly what causes so much of stress. And when your brain is not functioning well, when it's not supporting. So it's like a vicious cycle all put together. You will be stressed, you will do stress eating will cause obesity will cause PCOD, you are inactive, and hence such things are happening. So you have to, like how you are addressing your food problems, how you are addressing your exercise, you also have to address your stress, your mind, okay, which is very important. The moment you address this, you will get sleep. The moment you sleep well, your liver will start functioning well. If you don't sleep well, you will never lose weight, because the work of your when you sleep, your body burns fat. Okay, your liver functions. at that time. And what is the work of liver? Fat oxidization, right? So everything is connected. Okay, so this is a quick, sample plan for PCOD if you have, which I have made, and it has a lot of options. So whatever I've said as comma is one option. Say, as I've written here, millet dosa / idli. So it can be either a dosa or an idli. All right. Now, the reason I've not mentioned a portion size is because everyone's appetite is different, everyone's age is different, everyone's metabolic rate is different. So you have to eat with that thought, as I said some time back, is you should not be eating full. You have to eat only 3/4 or half of your stomach, right? So this is what your diet plan overall should look like. Now, these are something which is very easily found, and this is not something where you need to invest a lot of money and buy stuff which probably isn't available easily, right? This is something which is usually available in our house. All right. If there is anything which you don't understand, you can just text that on the chat and I can definitely answer that. I just want you guys to take a picture of this and so that we can move on. Now, the last part is very important, fasting for at least 14 hours till next day morning. Now, this is something which I really recommend is our body will utilize glucose when you are fasting. If you keep eating, and if you don't give gap to your body will never come out of that insulin resistant state. All right. So if you're suffering from hormonal imbalance, it's very important to give a very long break from your dinner till your next day first meal. So preferably 14 hours. I don't recommend my women clients to go more than 14 hours. But there are some people who are suffering from diabetes, they are taking some insulin shots, they can survive for more than 14 hours. Sometimes they go up to 18, 20 hours as well. Okay, but then you have to listen to your body. So one is hunger, one is low energy. All right. So, like for example, you may get hungry, but you can still survive. Okay. Other thing is you may get hungry and you are like, I can't survive. I just need to eat because my brain is not functioning. That's when you have to break the fast. But if you are hungry and if you say you drink a glass of water or you may drink a glass of green tea, anything which is 0 calorie is fine. Okay, but not Coke Zero or any of those aerated drinks. Green tea, black coffee, not coffee actually, because coffee is not good for PCOD, but green tea or any form of tea or hot water is fine. And when you drink that, if you feel that your hunger has gone, that means that it's just a false alarm and you can go on. Okay. But if you eat, if you drink and still you feel, oh my God, I just cannot wait anymore because now I'm going to die. Okay. That's, you have to break your fast, because after that, if you do, again, you're causing stress to your body. So don't do anything which causes stress to your body, internal or external. Okay, so it's question time for you guys. So I just want you to write down your questions. So here I can see Sakshi has written which are the vegetables that we should avoid during the. So as I said, any starchy vegetable, don't eat. Anything which is green in color or dark pigmented vegetable, go for it. No problem at all. Okay, stick to gourd variety of vegetables. As I said, watery vegetable which has a lot of water content is going to help you with weight loss. You can also eat leafy vegetables, which is again fantastic. Include a lot of spinach, kale, lettuce, cabbage, Chinese cabbage, all this in your diet. It's again going to help you a lot. Can we eat homemade yogurt? Yes, you can eat homemade yogurt. It's just that sometimes, so if you see that I have really not mentioned here to eat dairy. What I have actually mentioned here is Greek yogurt, which is definitely dairy, but it has very high protein content, right? So if you're eating, say, homemade yogurt also, put it in a muslin cloth, let all the water come out, and just eat the leftovers, okay, which is basically high in protein. It also is high in fat, which is fine. You do need, but a lot of times, dairy fat doesn't suit everyone. Okay, that's when I recommend people to go for vegan yogurt. So you can make peanut curd. All right, so all these recipes are available. If you don't get that in the market, there you get that recipe on YouTube, and you can make peanut yogurt at home, or you can make almond milk yogurt at home. But it again depends. Like, some people have a very they are okay, and if they don't want to eat yogurt, you can just skip that part and just don't have it also. But Greek yogurt is great because it's a very high source of protein. Okay. Any questions that you would want me to answer? You can quickly write. All right. How to deal with hunger pangs? Yeah, this is a very, very, very important question, and I completely resonate with this. And I have personally gone through this stage where, I would come back home from office and I would feel like extremely hungry, and I really didn't know what to do about it. And I would just eventually end up eating a lot of carbohydrates and sugar, chocolates, and stuff like that. Now, the way to handle hunger pangs, firstly, is to be very, very organized. Okay, so if you're organized and eating food on time, you will definitely not be getting hunger pangs at all. All right. Now, when you don't get hunger pangs, automatically you will be not be pouncing on food, and you will be mindful when you're eating that. However, we do get feeling, that I need to eat something, I need to have something. So don't keep anything which is unhealthy snack around you. That's the rule. First rule. Secondly is keep something which is still okay, like lotus seeds, makhanas, dry makhanas, or you can keep soft rice, okay, or you can keep some healthy nuts, or you can keep say you can make your own homemade oats and protein bowl with dates. So all those are fine, and eat food which is also very high in healthy fat. So the moment you eat that, what happens is your satisfaction level goes high. You feel full. You really don't feel like eating anything more. Yeah. So that is the rule. And meditate. If you meditate, if you're connected to yourself, you will see that your stress eating problem has reduced to a large extent. Right? It's not your body, it's your mind which is asking for food, right? So you're basically very tired from inside. I've heard that many of them tell that we should not eat beans when we are, yes, not all forms of beans. So moong dal is great, green moong is great, black chickpea is great, yellow moong dal is again great. Yeah, but other are high in fat, but it's not that you have to completely take it off. It's not like that. Because it has high carbs as well. Dal is not protein. Okay, for your kind information for everybody, dal is not only protein. Dal is actually very high in carbohydrates, and then it's protein. Okay, but it also has fiber. But unfortunately, for vegetarians, there is no other choice. They will have to have dal or lentil with another source of vegetable or carbohydrate. And when you put all these three things together is when you get your complete protein. Yeah. All right. So I am just moving on, and I don't see any more questions. And I think people would like to. Now, this is something which I wanted to tell you guys about, is what are the services that we do. It's because I have been doing this and I have been treating people with PCOD and PCOS or any form of women weight gain issues. So I thought that I should also be telling that what exactly we do. In case if you guys want to get a consultation done, you can drop me a message or you can email me and we can set up a call and discuss. So we basically have two programs, which is one-on-one coaching where, and when I say we, it's me at the moment who is coaching everyone at one-on-one level. And in my 12 weeks of coaching, you can expect to lose up to 14 kgs in 12 weeks. And the other one is a 30 days weight loss challenge, which I usually do once every month. Sometimes I do once in 2 months, but right now I'm doing once every month. And the next one is coming up on 22nd. It's starting on 22nd. That also, in case if you're interested, you can join in because the diet plan is PCOD and hormonal imbalance, hormonal friendly diet plan. And in 30 days weight loss challenge, you can lose up to 5 kg. And I do have people, in fact, Nana is today in our call as well. Nana has lost, in the first time when she did, she lost 11 kgs because Nana puts on a lot of water weight. She has a tendency of accumulating fluid weight in the body. And the last challenge that she did was last month, where she lost 6 kgs. So 30 days weight loss challenge is something which I've been doing from 2018 without a stop. And I think this is one of my most loved programs, which you can actually go and read about in the Google reviews. So this is something which I wanted to share in case if you guys think that you want to get one-on-one coaching, or if you think that you'd want someone to guide you with respect to your food, with respect to helping you lose weight, you can just text me or book my consultation and we can talk about it. Okay, so that's it. So this is 30 days weight loss challenge, which is coming up, which I just said. It's starting on 22nd, this Sunday. You guys can still join if you want to, and you can expect to lose up to 5 kg. All right, and it definitely helps in balancing your hormones, and I can definitely vouch for it, and my clients can vouch for it. So I'm going to stop the session before I stop sharing the screen with this beautiful quote by Mel Robbins. And this lady is one of my favorites. So I am a very, very big fan of this woman. And in fact, I have gone through a time in my life when I was undergoing immense amount of stress and immense amount of anxiety issues. And that's when I used to listen to Mel Robbins, and she says, your doubts create mountains, your actions move them. So it is all about actions. Whatever you want to achieve in your life, you want to lose weight, you want to become fit, you want to do something in your life, you want to become successful, you want to study, you want to do whatever, it's all about action. Because here we keep thinking, and when we think, what if this, what if that, if that happens, can I do it? Why will I do it? So it's all about questioning. It's all about doubt. The moment you put things in place, if you will get clarity, whether it is okay for you or not okay for you, it's all about your action. So this is something which I resonate so much with, and hence I thought that I should put this up in today's session. Right, so I'm going to stop the screen sharing with you guys, and I'm going to also stop